Today's second Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. Self-care does matter, and Manscaped helping make sure you look your best and feel your best. Get 20% off and free shipping over at manscaped.com when you use promo code Cowboys. Here's what's coming up on another edition of the Cowboys Report. Too much going on to only do the one video. Some interesting reports from Todd Archer about, is this Tony Pollard's last year with Dallas? Could Tyler Biadasz be extended? Dez Bryant has chimed in on Trevon Diggs' contract, which I think is noteworthy. And the Denzel Mims trade rumors are back once again on the menu. But if you guys are liking having 2 videos a day, not just the one, then show it by liking today's video. If you haven't already done so, if you do the first thing every time, awesome, you're the best. But a reminder to like this one. It can help show the bosses that you guys once can handle 2 Cowboys Report videos instead of the other responsibilities I have. So like today's video right now. Let's begin with Pollard. Then we will get to Denzel Mims. The Cowboys and Pollard, of course, did not get a long-term deal done. Pollard will now play on the franchise tag. And ESPN's Todd Archer thinks it is highly likely this will be Pollard's final year in Dallas. Here's what Todd said. Quote, "It is highly likely this will be Pollard's final season with the Cowboys. And it would have little to do with Pollard and everything else to do with the Cowboys dealing with their salary cap in 2024 and beyond, i.e. not wanting to pay a back premium money when they want to get a deal done for Trevon Diggs. They want to get a deal done for CeeDee Lamb. They want to get a deal done for Terrence Steele. If they can't pay Diggs or Steele, they're going to need that franchise tag next year to apply to Diggs or Steele. Micah Parsons due for a new deal starting next offseason. Jaron Kearse, Tyler Biadasz in the last year of their contracts. Dak Prescott due for a new deal. Oh, by the way, Zack Martin now wants a new contract as well, as we broke down earlier today. So Todd continued. Even if he produces at a higher level, it will not guarantee him a large contract from the Cowboys. It might not even guarantee him a huge contract from another team. It's just the position he plays and the other decisions the Cowboys will have to make regarding their future salary cap. We'll spend some more time here on Tony Pollard, and I think what Todd's alluding to is the fact that offensive line plays a pretty damn big role in how productive you are on the ground. But is this Pollard's last year with the Cowboys? Y for yes, N for no in the comment section. It is today's pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. I kind of doubt Pollard gets tagged again. It would be at minimum $12.2 million. Could be a little bit higher. Depends on what the franchise tag number ends up looking like. But 12.2 is the 120% of last year's deal. So that's the minimum he's going to get there. We will know probably before the season begins if Pollard will get tagged. If Trevon Diggs and Terrence Steele both get long-term deals done, those guys are likely going to be tagged instead, assuming Steele plays well and is a starter, etc. If those guys don't get deals done, got to tag them over the back. That's just the reality. So what I would do is, in a really bad running back market, let Tony Pollard hit the market, see what he's getting offered, and then decide. Because the market is not favorable to backs. And frankly, it's also starting to reach the point where there could be some value in paying a running back. Instead of giving them $15 million, massive guaranteed figures, what if this time next year, or I guess later than next year, the contract cost for Pollard is, 3 years, $20 million, half of that guaranteed. Even with the market, that might be doable for the Cowboys and Pollard, but that's a future issue because he's playing on the tag this season. Manscaped is committed to helping men around the world look and walk and talk with some swagger this summer with the best men's grooming tools on the market. That includes the Beard Hedger, the newest product from our friends over at Manscaped. They got you covered from head to toe now. With 1 guard and 20 adjustable lengths, the Beard Hedger is the perfect travel companion fit to take care of your mane wherever you are. The Beard Hedger 4.0 is the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, now taking care of your other head this time around. They've also got the Performance Package 4.0. It's the league leader in men's grooming, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Boxers, the most comfortable ones known to mankind, the Weed Whacker 2.0, ball toner, ball conditioner, because or ball deodorant, because if you're putting, deodorant on your armpits, you should probably put it where it's sometimes even smellier. 20% off and free shipping on all of their products over at manscaped.com when you use promo code Cowboys. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys. Let's talk trade now. Denzel Mims trade rumors are back, and they are bigger than ever. Even though at one point Mims had requested a trade, the Jets never said yes. Now they are finally caving. The Jets are trying to trade Denzel Mims, frankly, as we speak, as you watch, as we film. They plan to cut Denzel Mims if they are unable to find a trade partner. The NFL League Day has ended on Wednesday. Denzel Mims was not released, so at least 24 hours before he is potentially cut. The Jets are asking everybody. Mike Fisher reports the Jets called the Cowboys and said, "We'll trade for Denzel Mims, please. A conditional 7th-round pick is all we would request back there." That is the reported ask. And I will tell you, the Jets are calling everybody because the Jets and the Cowboys front office is not on the best of terms after the Jamal Adams disaster, because the Jets blame the Cowboys for that one right there. But the Jets are calling everybody, and they are saying Denzel Mims is available. Will somebody trade for him? And I know many of you have interest. We've talked about him a lot here on the show, and I get why. The Baylor product has a unique physical skill set. There is a lot of perceived talent. But I do want to make this point clear. It should raise some red flags of Denzel Mims is available for next to nothing. Why has no one traded for him? We have to acknowledge the possibility that maybe the Jets were right to not play Denzel Mims. Maybe the drops and the alleged playbook issues are real, and for 30 career games played over 3 seasons, maybe he's just not that good. And although in general, Mims is the type of player I would be down to gamble on, and I am not going to be mad if they trade for Denzel Mims, we have to consider this too. If you add Mims, he's fighting for a roster spot at best. He ain't going to be better than wide receiver 4, and he still might only be wide receiver 5 on this team. And he doesn't bring you special teams value at all either, which does raise some potential issues. And every snap you give to Denzel Mims in training camp in the preseason is one fewer snaps for Jalen Tolbert or Fehoko or Houston, who I know many of you like, or Jalen Moreno-Cropper, who we're all a big fan of, or 7th-round rookie Jalen Brooks. There is a finite amount of time to go around for the wide receiver room, which is why not everybody's fallen over themselves to trade for a player who was a 2nd-round pick but hasn't shown much impact so far. So would you add Denzel Mims? T, for you would trade for him because you want him on the roster. S, you're not going to give him anything but just sign him if he were available. Or I, for you're going to ignore him. He falls into the why not bucket for me. If they add him, I am certainly not going to be upset. If they don't add him, I'm also not going to be upset. We'll just see how it all plays out, I suppose, in the end. Let's go talk some more contracts here. Tyler Biadasz, a very interesting note from Todd Archer, who don't miss, in that Tony Pollard piece, mentioning not just CeeDee Lamb, Diggs, and Steele extensions, but also the Cowboys' center as well. He said, quote, "The Cowboys hope to use training camp to sign Lamb, Diggs, and Steele, while also potentially looking at a deal for center Tyler Biadasz. It's how they used to conduct business years ago with players approaching the final years under contract." That is a big factor for the Cowboys. And the fact that Archer is mentioning Biadasz should raise some eyebrows. But I'm curious what the money looks like. You're definitely not going to make him the highest paid center in the NFL. And much like other positions, there's a gap right now. The $12 million is the upper echelon of centers, the borderline Pro Bowlers, which Biadasz was this past year, or maybe all pro caliber players. Then there's Mitch Morse at just under 10, and then it's $6 million. So what does Biadasz want? He has gotten better each and every single season over the course of his NFL career. The run grade was not the best. I'm not sure he's ever going to be a premier player, and I want to make sure I'm not just being mean because he's not Travis Frederick, but he is a good player. But does that mean you want to pay a premium chunk of money? And not only that, there are some optics involved now. You know, Zack Martin has made it clear he wants a new deal. What's going to be the vibe for your Hall of Famer team captain? He'll be happy for Biadasz. What happens if you pay Biadasz big money, or let's just say it's $10 million, Instead of saving that money for Zack Martin, yes, Biadasz is younger, but Martin's better. Would that go over that well? So what would you do with Tyler Biadasz? P for you'd pay him right now, or W for you would wait. You want to see how the market plays out. I will make note, the franchise tag is just offensive lineman. You're probably not going to franchise tag him if you choose to wait. You'll let him hit the open market. I don't want to pay Biadasz top of market money. I don't want to pay him $14 million. I don't think he's that caliber of player. He's not bad. He's gotten better, and I'll give him credit for that. But I don't want to be paying great money for good play. Biadasz on his current contract is a plus. You're not paying him very much. He's been solid. But if things start to kind of go the other direction, if in the event you're now paying good play, great money, the Cowboys saw that with the Dalton Schultz franchise tag. They kind of saw it to a certain extent with Ezekiel Elliott down the stretch. You can't pay everybody. You can pay any one person you want, but is Biadasz in that category? Now, like we mentioned, this is the second Cowboys Report video of the day. We broke down the Zack Martin holdout earlier today, this morning in the breaking news, because when stuff happens, we have you guys covered. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV for free Cowboys videos each and every single day. We will wrap up with a concerning Trevon Diggs update from Dez Bryant, who says the Cowboys' contract's not gone well with Diggs, says they're not being fair to him. And I have two main thoughts here, a couple thoughts really. Number one, I don't know what the ask is. That makes it tough for me to determine who's right. Two, I get a little bit anxious about Dez kind of inserting himself here. He kind of did the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. I think that might have turned off some within the Cowboys organization. Not everybody up there likes him, Steven. And it's also tough to really identify what exactly is going on with the money. And also the Cowboys, look, they have a history of lowballing contract talks to start. They've done it multiple times. Here's what Dez said. Me and Diggs have been talking. I'll say this. He is not trying to knock them across the head. I will say they're not trying to be fair to him. I feel like what he's asking for, he's rightfully deserving of that contract. I believe it should all be guaranteed. We're going to come back to that quote. But I do think this Diggs deal, which we talked about before, compared to like the CeeDee Lamb contract, is a little bit tougher to get done. I'm not convinced it gets done this offseason. So what do you think? D for deal, it'll go down. ND for no deal, it won't happen. Sound off in the comments. I think in that Dez quote, he's kind of blurring the lines between what he wants and what he thinks, or what Diggs is asking for. Let me be clear, a fully guaranteed deal is not happening. That is a non-starter across the NFL, and it's specifically a non-starter for Diggs and the Cowboys. But I'd really love to know what the asks and offers are, because I do think that, look, Dez is on Diggs' side. Who can blame him, right? I'm not knocking him at all for that. But without knowing what the actual asks are, it's tough to figure out if it is unfair or if it is a fair offer. Here's one hypothetical. Trevon Diggs is probably going to ask for the highest paid cornerback contract, right? That's what I would do. Start high and then come back down a little bit there. I don't think he's going to get the highest paid cornerback deal. I don't think that that's what the Cowboys want to do right now. And I would not be surprised if, in particular, Dallas goes, look at what J.C. Jackson did. Look at what Jackson got on the open market. He got $16.5 million. Maybe we should start with that contract. Now, if Dallas is coming in below the J.C. Jackson deal for an extension, I think that is a bit of a low ball. I don't think that's a very fair offer for Diggs from the Cowboys. If it is that $16 million, Diggs wants more like $20 million, that's still a pretty big gap to wedge. So at some point, we'll get some contract offers, I suspect, the details of them. But for now, we got to wait and see how it all plays out with camp just around the corner.